Hi guys, sorry I'm late. It was kind of a weird, silly thing that happened to me, but I'm here. So hopefully you're around. Hopefully, if we ever have a delay like this, you'll check the community tab because I will let you know if suddenly I'm not here for some reason. I got locked out of my house. Kind of a long story, but I'm here. So hopefully you're all around. Either way, I'm going to go through my spiel and we'll see if anybody shows up. So, here's what the leaderboard is looking like right now. We have Mr. Atamifuji still 10-1. And then we have the 8 and 3s. We have Takakeisho, Takayasu, and Daieisho. So basically, this was the first day where they try to knock some of the guys out. Onosho gets knocked out. He's now 7-4. Not really surprising because Miyogiru is sort of on this veteran tear right now, to almost like his last attempt to show that he's not a veteran and maybe make another Sanyaku push. I'm guessing that he's very inspired by Nishikigi. Endo out, 7-4. Very surprising to see Gonoyama bounce back after 2 rough days for him, but he looked pretty powerful. We know that Endo's hurt, but he looked pretty powerful. And Hokuto Fujiyusho is not going to happen. It's the 42 Opinions curse. Somebody had told me you shouldn't do what I did. Unfortunate, but yes. Hokuto Fuji is now 7-4 as well. Barring some sort of really crazy thing happening, he is out of the Yusho race as well. As far as the guys who are, in it, I mean, Atamifuji, I thought to myself, Mitch must be very, very happy because Atamifuji just threw Tobizaru like he was a bag of dirt. And I was really, really shocked by it. But honestly, this is where it begins. Whenever one of these new guys, or even an old guy who's just never had a Yusho, whenever you get to 10 wins, that's when the pressure suddenly hits these guys, and that's usually when the collapses happen. So I would say tomorrow is actually when you can really see what Atamifuji's got. Like, if he wins tomorrow, now we can really start talking Yusho. Takakeisho, he performed very well. He was in a little bit longer of a match with Wakamoto Haru than what is typical for him, and he had that extra push on the out. But I noticed that it looks like both of his thumbs are broken. So I guess he's trying to spread out the injuries so they're not all in one body part. But he's looking a little banged up, but he's also looking. He looks like a guy who wanted to clear Kataban, but also he smells blood in the water because he's actually in the Yusho race still. Now, Takayasu, he did win his match, or he lost his match today. And it was mentioned that he has lower back pain. That was actually mentioned by Hiro Morita, which means if he's talking about it, everyone knows about it. I don't expect him to stay in this title race, but I could be surprised. Daieisho looking very consistently strong. I mean, he is a big guy. He's a veteran presence. He's probably someone who could have been doing good for a long time, and for one reason or another, it just wasn't meant to be. Maybe the competition was stronger. But this is now, he didn't do so great in July, but he was doing great before. So this is now a pattern. This is not a fluky thing. Do I think he'll take the Yusho? Absolutely not. But do I think he might hang in till the last day? Yeah, I do. And I mean, who knows? We could have a Daieisho winner. It's happened before. We've had the Tamawashi win. So never count him out, but I don't necessarily think it's going to be him. So for tomorrow, we have Atamifuji facing Daieisho. I think this should be a great match because Atamifuji looks really strong, surprisingly strong. Stronger than I expected him to be at this point. But once again, we're at the magical number 10 number, where this is where guys usually start to get nervous. And history has seen many people go to 10-5 who were 10-1 at this point in the Basho. And Daieisho is on the upswing right now. He hasn't had the best tournament, but he's actually on the upswing. And, you know, he should be more powerful than Atamifuji. He should win the match. If Atamifuji wins, I think we can really safely start talking Yusho, particularly because he has 2 wins over everybody. He's sitting in a very comfortable position. At this point, like, he needs to, like, I mean, he has to face all the top guys. Don't get me wrong. But at the same time, it'd have to be somewhat of a collapse for him to lose it at this point. Very possible, though, considering that he is a new guy and probably didn't expect to be in this position. Takakeisho has Kota no Waka. Now, last night, somebody, I forget who, was mentioning, has Takakeisho fought Kota no Waka yet? And the answer was no. It's going to be tomorrow. That's going to be a match. Kota no Waka is not living up to anybody's expectations. A lot of us in the 42 Opinions community thought he was going to be a Yusho contender. I believe Hiro Morita actually picked him in the Sumo preview show that they do on NHK. And he's just fallen apart. I see heavily taped knees, so it's very possible that he's hurt. With that said, he is going to give Takakeisho a fight. Takakeisho is obviously, like I said, looks like he's got 2 broken thumbs. On top of it all, Kota no Waka is very strong. If anybody can absorb Takakeisho's blast, it's him. Takakeisho's probably going to have to get in kind of low, but if he goes too low, he's going to get slapped down. So it's going to be a great match. Obviously, I'm rooting for Takakeisho, but I know anything can happen. At this point, I am breathing a sigh of relief that Takakeisho is not Kadoban anymore. I get to just relax the rest of the tournament, unless, of course, he gets injured, and then I'll be very upset. But at least he'll have 2 tournaments instead of 1. And then Daieisho has Ura. That could be either man's game. Ura's looking a little shaky. He's going too low on a lot of his matches. He's up to like maybe 3 or 4 flips. I have an Ura flip count at this point, where like he is just flying all over the place, rolling all over the place. He's not steady, and Daieisho's looking very steady. But you saw Daieisho get hanked by Kinbozan, which means Ura, I'm not necessarily saying he's going to hanka, but Ura, firstly, Daieisho's going to be nervous about him, but secondly, Ura's probably going to do something crazy. So this could be a very tough match for Daieisho, but if he buckles down, keeps himself glued to Ura, and stays steady, he can win that match. So that's sort of the upper division situation right now. And then we're going to just quickly talk about Juryo. Ichi Yamamoto looking really, really good. The best I've seen him look in quite some time. I almost see like shades of what's going on with Atamifuji right now. Is he like finally figured it out and gonna make some sort of comeback? Onosato, man, he looks strong. He looks healthy. I can't wait for him to get into the upper division. He's right there with him in the 10-1. And then you have Chura no Umi. I'd say at this point it's just a 2-man match. They've already faced each other, so it's just going to be a matter of, will they face each other in a playoff, or will somebody lose by the end of the week? Should be very, very interesting. So I got 2 comments here from Monster, but I don't see anybody else, so you might have to do a lot of talking if nobody else comes. I knew the moment that fight went to the belt, it was over. Since I'm past whatever I was talking about, which match were you referring to? And then Daieisho is favored by a good amount in the head-to-head, surprisingly. I'm not surprised by that necessarily. I mean, Daieisho should I mean, he's solid, so he should be okay. But just every once in a while, being the big guy that he is, he gets surprised. And then 3 matches I'm looking forward to in Juryo. Oshoma versus Shiden, Tomokaze versus Chura no Umi, and Chiyomaru versus Tohakuryu. Chiyomaru is playing spoiler a little bit here. I concur about Tomokaze and Chura no Umi. And I don't know much about Oshoma and Shiden yet. I had my eye on Oshoma for a little while, and then we don't spend too much time on Juryo, so I'm not always, up on all my Juryo guys. Oh, okay, you were talking about the Atamifuji Tobizaru match. Yeah, it was pretty definitive. I mean, he grabbed that Mawashi, and you just knew he had everything in it. He had the perfect opportunity. Tobizaru didn't get a chance to do anything. It was kind of like the Takayasu match the day before. I was surprised. I'm like, wow, this guy is like somebody else. It's like he's in somebody else's body or something. So I put Takakeisho's picture up here because this is a fascinating situation, because Takakeisho looks like he looks strong enough to where I feel like he could take this Yusho. It's an uphill climb because he is 2 down from Atamifuji, and Atamifuji looks great. But Takakeisho's been here before. Nobody else has been here before in this group that's really in the running. Takakeisho's hungry. Takakeisho is probably sick and tired of all the naysayers. But he's looking worse for wear. So he could take it. But a lot of things have to go in the right direction. He has to stay healthy, which is always Takakeisho's problem. Takayasu, I think this is sort of a bummer. Hopefully, he can take some sort of cortisol shots or something just to get through the next couple of days, because this is a golden opportunity for him. It was kind of snatched away today, but he doesn't have all this. He's got Takakeisho to worry about potentially, but everybody else, this is insane. This could have been his Yusho, unless Atamifuji really is the guy that we didn't know he was. Battle Hamster's your Yusho pick then? Well, I kind of discussed this last night. I have a hard time picking him because then I feel like the 42 Opinions jinx will come upon him, and that's a pretty awful jinx. It's hard to say because I feel like Atamifuji could win this Yusho. Sometimes everything aligns perfectly, and I feel like he could possibly win this Yusho. With that said, I have not let Takakeisho stray too far from my mind as the possible winner. I would love to see it though, because I've really tired of the naysayers. I like every once in a while when Takakeisho wins, and they'll say bad stuff about him anyway because he technically can go on a Yokozuna run, and that has not gone well every single time that's happened. Monster says, I can't say I feel confident either way, but I'm still leaning Takakeisho just because you see the Maegashira contenders crumble so often. History is on Takakeisho's side for sure. Every single guy. Remember Midori Fuji was 10-1? Takayasu's been 10-1. Hokuto Fuji, I can't remember if he got up to 10-1, but you've seen it time and time and time again. The Maegashira guys, as soon as they get 10 wins, the nerves come in, and they end up 10-5, and you almost forget they were in the lead. And if Takayasu is hurt, it's not going to be a problem for Takakeisho. But typically Takayasu is a tough fight for Takakeisho. So can he muster enough in him to, really battle? I don't know. I don't know. I think Takakeisho just needs not to screw up. If he has one of his classic off days, then it's done. Because, I don't know. I think he'd have to have 2 off days. But we'll see. I mean, it's like I said, Atamifuji could lose out for the rest of the time. Atamifuji double Yusho would be awesome. He's on fire. You know, he was hyped the very first time he came around, and it just did not come to be. But maybe that's just because he wasn't ready and the hype is real. So, I mean, if he takes this Yusho, we're going to have a nice conversation for the next time around. And then Monster said, but in recent years, there are a lot more guys who aren't Ozeki winning. Yes, and there is a precedent for, like, the last guy in the Banzuke winning. That has happened multiple times. He's not the last guy, but it has happened multiple times that the guy you least expect ends up winning the Yusho. So we're almost kind of due for that. And nobody really had their eyes on Atamifuji at all, so we're also due for some big surprise and some big interview. This is how, like, it keeps being interesting, because every time you think you've got Sumo figured out, you don't. So it's possible. I mean, John is not a believer. John seems to think it's not going to be Atamifuji, though he has not opined as to who it's going to be. He's not a believer yet. Hence the title, Are You an Atamifuji Believer? And B says, and the Ozeki have been underperforming. Yeah, it's funny because coming in, everybody said, oh, it's going to be Hoshoryu. Oh, it's going to be Kirishima. And nobody but the most, even me, nobody but the most diehard, like, let's live in fantasy world people had any hopes for Takakeisho. I don't want to say that I had no hopes for him, because every single tournament, I hope that's the tournament that he's going to win a Yusho. But I didn't know what kind of condition he was in. And here we are, Takakeisho showing those youngins, if you want to be Ozeki, you got to be tough. You got to be way tougher than you are right now. And I think Kirishima he's coming back. I mean, he is Kadoban, but he's in 7-4 now. He's coming back. I think he'll get his Kachikoshi tomorrow. And then he can just sort of start over again. Hoshoryu, no matter what happens to him, you almost get a freebie as a Shin Ozeki, but I'm sure he is not happy. He thinks it just too much pressure. Not enough training time when you're Shin Ozeki, because you go to all the parties and all the interviews and you don't get to train as much and you don't get to sleep and you're drinking every night. So it happens, you know, it happens. So neither of them are doing how they should, but they'll be okay. I was hoping for Hokuto Fuji, but it doesn't look like it now. Yeah, that's that 42 opinions curse, you know. But with that being said, you can't find a bigger Hokuto Fuji fan than John on this channel. Can Hoshoryu continue making this comeback? I think he can. I almost feel like he hit rock bottom for him in this tournament, and now he's slowly, like, finding a way to bring his confidence back. I mean, the last couple of days' battles are going to be crazy when all the top guys are fighting each other. Everybody's going to be out for blood. Nobody's going to care what anybody's record is. Everybody's going to be out to play spoiler if they aren't in it. If they are in it, they're out to prove something. Like Takakeisho, I think he's going to be doing some hard, nasty pushing, some forearms, all kinds of stuff. Hoshoryu, he's going to be looking to do a throw. He's going to be looking to do just definitive, you know, Oshi Taoshi crush outs. And then Kirishima, you know, he excels in the last couple of days. I don't know if anybody's ever noticed that. Regardless of his record, the last couple of days of a tournament, he sort of turns into somebody else. So, you know, we'll have to see what happens, but I expect craziness the next couple of days. I'm looking forward to the matches after tomorrow. I mean, the Takakeisho Kotonowaka match is pretty exciting, but the rest of them are just like, all right. I want everybody to really get in there. Let's see here. What do we got for matches tomorrow? Besides the ones that I looked at. So, Gonoyama's going to fight Hoshoryu tomorrow. Gonoyama's got Kachikoshi on the line, which I'm sure he would love to have. Hoshoryu is in desperate mode. So, Hoshoryu should win this match, but I think Gonoyama's really powerful. He's old. He might be older than Hoshoryu. Let me look at that. Let's see. 98. Yeah, he's older than Hoshoryu. The reason he's come in so late is because he did the college thing. And then we got Kirishima and Wakamoto Haru. This should have been more of a match like a couple tournaments ago where they both are in the, either running for Ozeki or they're both in Yusho contention. And this has kind of lost some of its shine. But, if Kirishima gets his Kachikoshi tomorrow, we just move on. Let him start fresh in November. I bet you he does really good in November. Wakamoto Haru's lost. He's been lost for a little while since his whole Ozeki bid just blew up in his face. So these are decent matches tomorrow. I'm going to see here. I'm looking forward to seeing Hoshoryu potentially fighting Takakeisho. Obviously, I want to see him fight Kirishima. Those are going to be good matches when those happen. Let's see if... So yeah, Kirishima, he's got all the top guys still left. So, it's going to get interesting. Very interesting, very soon. We'll put Kirishima up now so we can take a look at him. Kobe beef. Interesting. Topic suggestion. Hokuseiho Doomers taking L's yet again. Oh, I just think people really want to have someone to root for. That's all. And Hokuseiho is not living up to the hype, so... I don't know if the video is, I'm like looking at the video. It looks like it might be delayed compared to the audio. If it is, my apologies. I have no idea why that would be. Hello, Jax. Sorry I'm late. Day 11 was great. Yeah, this is where we get when it starts to get real fun around day 11. That's like your appetizer. Day 12 is your really good soup and salad. 13, 14, 15 are, 13, 14, that's the main course, and 15 obviously is the dessert. So we're getting there. We're getting through this meal. B says Gonoyama is a favorite for sure. I love Gonoyama. He's up there. He might even be my second favorite now. I haven't had a second favorite in a while because a lot of my second favorites have been retiring, getting knocked out, falling apart. So I think Gonoyama is my second favorite now. Monster says we might not get all the big Sanyaku matches since there's a lot of mega share with high scores. Likely not. I was thinking that as I was going through. And like I said, I think the video is a little delayed here. I have no idea what's going on with that. But, yeah, there's a possibility because the Maegashira men are actually the ones in the, contention besides Takakeisho. We're not going to get some of the classic matches. Hokuseiho would be great if he ever learns to bend over. I wonder what his strategy actually is. Like, is the plan just to always stand up and see what happens, or is he just has another plan and never executes it? I'm not really sure. He looks very awkward out there. Hello, Easy Macro. Yes, Keisho is on fire. He really manhandled Wakamoto Haru, which surprised me because A, like I said, I don't think Takakeisho's in the best shape as usual, but B, Wakamoto Haru is starting to really fade. I'm almost wondering if he has an injury, like a nagging injury, or if he's just so messed up from losing the Ozeki bid and then his brother. And I think he took a lot of motivation from his brother when they were coming up together. And we were really robbed of like two brothers in Sekiwake at the same time. That was freaking so lame. But here we are. Hopefully Wakamoto Haru can right the ship, because I was really thinking he was going to be the next guy, but it's not looking like it now. Monster says, I feel so conflicted recently about my favorites. There's some new guys that I like a lot, and I'm not sure how to stack them against my old favorites. You might need a little time, because really when you have the new guys, you don't know enough about them like the old guys. You haven't been through the journey with them. The reason I can confidently say that Gonoyama is my second favorite is because I'm a fangirl, and knowing that Gonoyama came up with Takakeisho and Takakeisho was his mentor, this just makes it easier for me. It's like I already like his style of sumo. I already like how tough he is, and then I find out he's like buddies with Takakeisho. This is a no-brainer for me. I'm all about the background story. Monster says, I'm hoping Wakamoto Haru can finish strong. Would like to see him get the upset in Kirishima, but it's very unlikely. I don't know. It's possible, because they both have a similar style, although Kirishima is much stronger. I mean, it's amazing how strong that guy is. But they have a similar style. Wakamoto Haru has really not been showing his excellent technique this tournament. And against Kirishima, he's got a good opportunity to do it. So, I don't know. I think that match could be pretty even. I don't necessarily say it's going to go to a specific person yet. Looks like the video finally caught up, which is good. I wonder if when I post it, if it'll all be in line versus talking live like this. I want to know where Matthew is, because, he's in Japan. I want to know how things are going. If he's got any cool stories for us. Yeah, so what matches are you guys looking forward to? Who do you want to see match up? I'm always a big fan of, what's my dream match in this tournament? I will say that I thoroughly enjoyed the Takakeisho Gonoyama match, even though it was pretty one-sided, because I could just picture how, like, starstruck Gonoyama was, and how Takakeisho just, like, sorry, man, I really gotta show you your place, because I I gotta get my, at least out of Kadoban. I asked, what is the match you're most looking forward to? Where's everyone watching? I'm still in Nato. I've been watching, I always watch the NHK feed, and I'm always watching it late, because I have so much going on, so I'm probably the last person to see it half the time. There is a Sumo Primetime live video again tonight. I probably will watch the replay of that tomorrow, unless, every once in a while I actually am up at 3 o'clock in the morning. And when that happens, I will watch Sumo live. And last time Sumo Primetime did one, I actually did watch the Takakeisho match live. I'm curious to see if they change things from last time, because the last live stream he did his commentary without the sound of the match. So you would just see the guys fighting and then hear Hiro's commentary. So I'm interested. I'm definitely going to take a look at it tomorrow. But there, I go through all the, if I need to see Juryo or something, I'll go to the other channels. And we all know who those channels are. I'm always trying to be careful. Like, I like watching Jason, for instance. Easy Macro says, I want to see Hokuseiho keeping his streak up. He's been doing better. I would love to see Hokuseiho figure it out. I think he's going to be amazing when he does. Because he's got so much ability and so much advantage with that height that if he just figures it out, he's going to be hard to stop. Honestly, the matches tomorrow don't look so hot for Makuuchi. I'm mostly looking forward to Chiyomaru versus Tohaku and Jiro. Yeah, I don't think the matches tomorrow look that great, but a lot of that is because the leaderboard doesn't look that great. I got nothing against Daieisho. I got nothing against Atamifuji. I love to see Takayasu, finally win a Yusho, but it's not looking promising. Who knows, though? He could shock us all, and this is the Yusho he finally wins when nobody's talking about him. But besides Takakeisho and Takayasu, it's not very exciting leaderboard. I mean, we really wanted to see Hoshoryu. We really wanted to see Kirishima or Kotonowaka. So it's like, this one's a little lame. Hokuto Fuji versus Onosho I want to see. That'll be good. There might be blood. When those two guys go, there's blood. I can't remember who asked, was it Easy Macro or somebody else about the Hakuho video? Did anybody look at the link from the last video and watch the Hakuho reactions? I don't remember who asked me for that link, but I did post it in 2 spots just in case YouTube deleted it. I haven't had a chance to translate it yet. It'll probably be an after the tournament situation. Watching Abema directly is best. No chat, but the video is better than the restreams. Yeah, if you have that option to do that, that's great. I mean, I would for sure pay for Sumo for like the whole full thing, all 15 days. I wouldn't care how much it costs. I would pay for that. So I hope that becomes an option at some point. It was you. I thought it was you, Easy Macro. Did you get a chance to check it out? Was it good? And then Jax is looking forward to Atamifuji versus Daieisho. I do think that's going to be incredible. I hope it lasts for a while. I hope there's not like a slap down or something. But I want to see how strong Atamifuji is. I mean, Daieisho is a great person to fight if you want to prove your strength. I'm morbidly excited for Chiyoshima versus Tamawashi. I'm not excited for that one. That one's going to be sad. I was thinking that Tamawashi would pull out of the tournament, and then I realized, wait a minute. He still technically has the never missed a basho record. Never missed a day in a basho record because they decided not to count the COVID thing. So he can't. He could go on 15 because he's just not going to drop out of this tournament. And then you have Chiyoshima who's just, nothing's working. Nothing's working. So, I don't know. Maybe it'll be a good match. Oh, good, Easy Macro. I'm glad you liked it. I thought it was cool, too. Gagamaru also had Tochinoshin on his channel. And what's funny about that is there's so many English fans on the Gagamaru channel that they'll just put in the comments, please put subtitles. Please put subtitles. And sometimes he will. So hopefully we're going to get a translation of that video soon because Gagamaru and Tochinoshin were like good buddies. They came, like Gagamaru was already here in Japan and Tochinoshin came in and they're both from Georgia and, you know, he was a good mentor to Tochinoshin. So it was probably a great reunion for those two to get together and they seemed like they were having fun. So hoping for the English subtitles to come. Gagamaru's very good to the fans with that. I can post that in the links at the end of this if anybody's interested. All right. Anybody got anything else? I've gone through my whole spiel. Really, I think tomorrow night's is going to be... In some ways, we're going to have far more to talk about tomorrow night, but in other ways, maybe not, because the matches, like I said, they're a little strange. I don't think the Japanese sumo people understand how big it would be here in U.S. if they did some more in English. I don't either. I think they really don't believe. I think Hiro's bosses really don't believe that sumo would be popular here. And to some degree they're right, and to some degree they're not. Like, people don't know about sumo. They know it on the coast. They know it in California. They know it in like New York City. They know it in any place where there's a huge Japanese population, or any of the, I bet you like there's fans in, Washington the state or Oregon, like anywhere that's closer to Japan. Obviously it's popular in Hawaii. But I think you could interest a lot of people in other parts of the country if they knew about it. I think there was plenty of people who would watch it. When Hiro comes on and says, we're trying to get 50,000 subscribers by the end of the year, if you read between the lines, what he's saying is, my sumo bosses are telling me that if you get 50,000 subscribers, maybe we'll do something. It basically seems to me like they're telling him, prove to us that this is popular enough in the U.S. or any other countries that speak English. So hopefully, the fact that Hiro is doing these live streams is kind of a big deal, because it's the first time that it's happened. How long has sumo been around? And people have been slowly discovering it, and this is the first time there's been an attempt to give us English fans something. So hopefully it's successful, which is one of the big reasons I will always watch it and try to comment things. Young guys love combat sports. There's plenty of audience. Absolutely. If there's all these MMA fans in this country, why wouldn't they like sumo too? There'd be some that would have their reasons for not liking it, and it'd be some weird reason, but for the most part, there's a love for combat sports in America. So I think if sumo got out there, people really knew about it, they'd get a decent audience from the States. And then you would get cultural enthusiasts who would also be into it. So let's just hope. Let's just hope that we're turning the page in this sumo journey. All right. Anybody got anything else before I sign off for the night? Alrighty. Well, thank you all for coming. Sorry that I was late. It was sort of strange what happened, but I will be back tomorrow. Oh, Easy's throwing a comment for me. Example would be Dana White's new slap league. Some of those videos on social media have hundreds of millions of views. Sumo could easily do the same because the matches are short. It's perfect for today's social media. Oh, absolutely is it perfect for today's social media. I mean, think about this for a second. YouTube Shorts, or I don't like TikTok, but, YouTube Shorts get millions of views. You could put a match up. A match is like 15 seconds. It's like it's built for social media. You could put a 15-second match. You could put some silly music if you wanted to, like if it was a crazy Ura match. I bet you if you just put Ura highlights, people would be like, ooh, this looks awesome. Or even Tobizaru. I know Mitch doesn't like him, but Tobizaru, people love Tobizaru, and I'm one of them. Throw a Ura Tobizaru match in a YouTube short, and you get tons of attention on it. That slap league stuff is so weird to me. I haven't seen it. This is the first time I'm hearing of it. I'll try to take a look. Daieisho is a monster killer, and I want to see Atamifuji stand up to him, and Gono versus Hoshoryu. Those matches will probably be pretty awesome. I mean, right now on paper, it's like, Atamifuji's new, Daieisho's kind of struggling, Gonoyama's new, Hoshoryu's struggling. But when you think about the personalities in these matches, they're probably going to be like hard fought, all around the ring. You're not going to be able to guess who's going to win until the very last second. Maybe a Torino Oshi. Like, the guy who slaps first is a huge advantage. Not, once again, I'll have to look into the slap league. I agree, Monster. That's why I believe Sumo would do great. Yes, exactly. 42 people would love it. I would do it myself. I would actually make some YouTube shorts of the matches, but you know what it's like. Get your whole channel taken down. Americans might not like all the ceremony before a fight, but actual fight would do amazing on social media. It depends on which Americans you're talking about. Some Americans absolutely love ceremony. They might even love the ceremony more than the fighting. But I do think the actual fights would do amazing on social media. If I get an opportunity, like if I happen to wake up in the middle of the night, because Hiro's taking live chat, you know, I'm going to make that suggestion. Or maybe I'll even make it in the comments section after. Like, do some YouTube shorts. Put a couple of fights up. You know, highlight the really crazy matches. Send it out there. And then you have to know how to tag it right. You know, like, I think Joe Rogan watched... There's a clip out there of Joe Rogan watching sumo for the first time, and it's actually a Hakuho match. That got a lot of views. You gotta you gotta know how to get these things out there so people are watching them. And then sumo would take off, and it would be great for everybody. All right, the comments are drying up. Those Hakuho KO matches would do insane numbers on shorts. They would. But you got to promote them too. Hito would have to know what the right tags would be. But, you know, they've got bigger channels. They could probably put some boost money on it or something. If they wanted to, they could get their videos out in front of people. Have to be good matches for YouTube shorts. There's a lot of history in sumo to have... to put up the shorts. A lot. You could start off with some old matches, mix in a new match here and there. You know, Enho was extremely popular. He brought a bunch of people into sumo. Him fighting Tochinoshin, even though he got picked up like a baby, it was still, like, people were all about that. Tochinoshin was kind of a big loss for sumo as far as reaching out to the international community. There's no shortage of good matches, even in less exciting bashos like this one. Absolutely. We've seen plenty of matches that were entertaining. And for somebody who hasn't watched sumo, who isn't following the whole thing, they probably would go to the channel just to watch the shorts, just to see a good match and not follow the whole tournament. And that's all you need. You get a lot of subscribers that way. I saw a YouTube short titled, "This is why I don't watch sumo," and it was 3 terrible matches. Who would dare make a short like that? If you don't watch sumo, then just don't watch sumo. Don't, be negative about it. That's lame. I wonder what those matches are, though. Now I kind of want to see the video. Yeah, I try to promote sumo to people, and they just kind of look at me like, huh, what? But I don't hang in the right circles. I gotta hang in, the fight circles to see if I can get people into it. All right. Tochi, Ichinojo, and I forgot the third. Really? That's stupid. I'm going to say they probably picked Ichinojo Snorlaxing and Tochinoshin when he was at the end of his career. I'm going to search that and see the video. All right, guys, I really am going to get going because we have another day. Total gives up. I was so mad when I saw it. The problem, of course, is if I watch it, then I give them a view. And I don't know if I want to do that. But thank you, Jax, Monster, Easy. What else we got here? B. I think I caught everybody who's here. Thank you all for coming. Please come back tomorrow. I hope the matches are excellent. And catch Sumo Primetime if you can, because I'd be interested to talk about it a little bit. But if you can't, I get it. But thank you for stopping by, and I will hopefully talk to you all tomorrow.